My journey to being the speech coach here at North Polk probably began as a speech student. It was one of my favorite activities to participate in when I was in high school. When I got to North Polk, at that time Mrs. Vernon was the assistant speech coach. And so I would sometimes help with practice. I went to the speech showcase. And then that following year was when she took over the head coach job, and I applied to be the assistant coach. And then 3 years later, she left North Polk, and so the opening for the head coach opened up, and I decided to apply. Speech is changing. We are seeing new categories all the time. Solo musical theater is a category that didn't exist when I was a student. Short film is exploding, even at North Polk. I think my first year here, we had one short film, and this year I had a hard time deciding where students would go in short film because I had so many students interested, and we took 3 phenomenal short films to district. I think as a state, short film is exploding, and so it's really changed. Some of the categories are adapting as technology changes. And then at North Polk, I think every year students grow and change in different ways. I don't know that I have a overview of, hey, this is different, but every year there are students who say they can't do it. They can't memorize that line, they can't give that line in that way, and just the growth is phenomenal. One of my favorite things to see is when students take accountability for their own performances and they start adapting and critiquing themselves. I think part of the reason that our improv team had so much success this year is because all of the improvers are able to provide feedback to each other, and so I don't really coach up there. I just watch them, and they give the feedback back to themselves, and I think that strengthens them as performers. So just growth in being able to give that feedback is probably one of my favorite things to see over a season. Oh my goodness, this senior class. So this senior class was the seniors, when they were freshmen, they had to perform here for their contest. They did not compete against other schools. We were in that COVID year when we were all wearing masks. So their first competitions were in this school building and in mass, which is very, very different from all other speech competitions. And so this senior class is very adaptable. They ebb and flow when they need to. I have seen so much growth from so many of them. There are 15 seniors on the large group team this year, which is a large number of leaders. We will miss them terribly next year. It's hard for me to articulate the growth in competence from that freshman year, having to be covered up in a mask and try to communicate through the mask, to where I saw them at state large group especially. I was just blown away at their confidence level, their skill level, their leadership. They were supporting each other, cheering each other on every step of the way, and their leadership has been invaluable, and we will miss them so much. Speech is a place for everyone, like literally everyone. We have memorized categories, we have non-memorized categories, we have places for people who want to be behind the camera, we have places for people who want to edit, we have places for backstage, right? Like maybe you're interested in theater but you don't want to be on stage but you still want to be a part of it. We have backstage roles, we have director roles. we can find every single person. We can find a place for you on the speech team. If you've got the time, we can find you a place.